Thank you for coming, everyone. If you could grab your last cup of coffee and grab a muffin and move over toward the chairs, that would be wonderful. We'd like to get started.
Welcome again. I'm Cam Hedlund, Director at Lakes International Language Academy, and I would like to ask you to stand and join with me as the Forest Lake American Legion Color Guard leads us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We really appreciate you coming today. You may be seated. We are so pleased to have you with us here today to celebrate the construction and roof-topping of a new school facility for Lakes International Language Academy. Our mission statement reads, LILA prepares tomorrow's critical thinkers and global citizens through language immersion and inquiry-driven study. This facility will go a long way to help us carry this mission out. Our commitment to our families and to the community is not only to bring the world to Forest Lake, but for us to participate and make an impact in the world. This past spring, Shannon was invited to Spain to help interview teachers for the state of Minnesota's Spanish programs. And I was invited to China to interview teachers that the American Council and the U.S. State Department provide for the entire country. And we will have over 30 staff traveling to international destinations this summer, and 6 staff that will be teaching in international destinations next school year. And we expect most of them that will be returning to us at some point. With this new facility, we will be asking our students to think for themselves, to think about others, and to think about beyond today. With that, I'd like to welcome Tom Campbell from the Forest Lake Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Cam. I'm Tom Campbell. I'm the past chair with the Forest Lake Chamber of Commerce. And just want to come up and say a short little thank you. And on behalf of the Forest Lake Chamber of Commerce, I would like to say thank you to Lakes International Language Academy and its staff for picking Forest Lake to open its alternative option for learning about 10 years ago, and now continuing their commitment to the Forest Lake area by building this new campus here. The new campus will not only benefit the residents of Forest Lake, but also the surrounding cities as well. Look forward to seeing great people and the benefits that will come out of the new campus. I'd also like to present Cam Hedlund with the Reflections book of Forest Lake, in hopes that in the next edition, when one comes out, not only will LILA be represented in there, but also some of their students will have done some great things for the city.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom. And we'd also like to welcome the White Bear Chamber of Commerce and Tom Snell.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is Tom Snell. I'm the Executive Director of the White Bear Area Chamber. And on behalf of the White Bear Area Chamber, I want to thank you for inviting us to this monumentous occasion. You can't get a better situation than when you have a school in the northeast suburbs here that offers both the International Baccalaureate program, which is the top program for students in the country, and also language immersion with Spanish and Mandarin, which is so important for our future citizens of our state. And I know that we have a lot of people from White Bear actually that come up to Forest Lake to attend to attend your school, and we thank you for that very much. This is a wonderful venue to have in our community. And again, thank you for the White Bear Area Chamber.
And Kyle Summer also from White Bear Chamber, I understand?
For those, I'm Kyle. I'm the chair of the Ambassador Committee for the White Bear Area Chamber of Commerce. I don't have an eloquent speech. It's more sharing a personal, what I have seen with LILA. I'm pretty unfamiliar, somewhat become familiarized with LILA. What you guys do is so unique. Over the past year and a half, it's really become the time that I have understood what it is you do. And I know a lot of people in charter schools, and what you guys do is so unique, and it's open enrollment, it's free. You really have a niche. And having mentioned LILA to so many of my friends, relatives, they've never heard of it, and you guys are still just bursting at the seams. Knowing the people that commute here on a day-to-day basis from across the metro, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And this is such an exciting new chapter in life for you guys, for the school, over the past couple of years, seeing what you have done and what you're going to do. It's just so inspiring. And I just want, on behalf of the White Bear Chamber, say congratulations and best wishes as we progress here in the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. There are so many of you that have come long distances to celebrate with us that I hesitate to mention any one person, but with Bob Detmer here, I just want to thank him for how he has so aptly represented us at the state legislature. And
thank you, Cam. And Cam and I go back a long ways. We taught together in the Forest Lake School District, and also coach. We started the soccer program here in Forest Lake. And Shannon was a wrestling cheerleader for me for years when she was in high school. I taught for many years, for 34 years at Forest Lake High School. But I do serve in the state legislature after retiring from teaching. And for a few terms, I did serve on the K-12 education finance and also higher education. And our charter school system in Minnesota is a role model for the nation. And we have an outstanding program right here in our midst in Forest Lake. Lakes International draws students from all over the metro area. I think approximately 18 school districts send their students here. The majority of them are from the Forest Lake area. And I think they also work well with our school. Be aware that charter schools do not levy. They do not levy funds. What they get from the state is a per pupil funding. So they go out and get grants, they promote their programs, and we have one of the top charter schools in the country right here in Forest Lake. And congratulations.
One thing that we've learned in the last 10 years is how to be brief and succinct. And so this is the end of our ceremony. I've got one more piece that's very exciting, especially with this wind. It has to do with sky lanterns. In Asia, Europe, and South America, sky lanterns have been traditionally made for centuries, and they're launched for fun as part of a long established festivity. In other places, their historians will tell us that they were used to send messages asking for help during war. Today, the tradition of sky lanterns has spread around the world and even showed up, if you have children you know this, showed up in the Disney movie Frozen recently. The lanterns are still used in different ways in different places. In Thailand, people write their problems and worries on the lanterns and symbolically float them away. Elsewhere, including Christington, Taiwan, people take the opposite approach. They write their hopes and dreams on the lanterns and send them out to the universe. In other places, some people do a similar thing and think of that as a kind of a prayer. Because we're Lake's International Language Academy, we don't pick sides. We're all about learning traditions and trying to understand how and why different people do things the way they do. So today we're not going to be writing any wishes, prayers, or worries on our lanterns, but But I will invite each of you to send off your own thoughts as you watch the lanterns rise. Okay, I've got some people who are ready to try to launch these lanterns. I promise your cars will be safe. All right. If you have no wishes or worries of your own, if you are one of those rare people who is content and stress-free, or if you're able to multitask, I'll ask you to use this morning's launch to send off your good wishes about our school and give it an auspicious beginning. As we watch the lanterns ascend, you're welcome to think of a wish or a worry for the new school and send it off as you watch one of the lanterns float out of sight. Fire safety in general. I think we'll end it when these last ones that have already had their fuel cells lit go off. This also represents some of the struggles that we have faced over the last 10 years. It has not been an easy, smooth road, and there are lots of times we held our breath, hoping hoping that things would work out well, as we are right now.
Well, I'm here with Cam Hedlund, Director of Lakes International Language Academy, and Shannon Peterson, Assistant Director. And I just want to say, wow, this is just amazing to be out here at the site. Can you tell me a little bit about the process of building to this point? And perhaps I should ask Cam that. The building beginning to present day, how's that been going?
This particular facility, we knew we were going to need it 3 years ago when we added Chinese, because we had developed the other building to a maximum capacity for Spanish. So as soon as we made the decision to add Chinese, we knew we would need a building. So this building's been in our thoughts for the last 3 years. But getting the bonding funding and the mechanisms in place to pay for it, and the students that will come had to show up a little bit to begin with to make it a real thing. And so we started less than a month ago. What you see here is 1 month of construction, and 16 of those days it's rained. And so we're pretty pleased with how they're doing. It's about 25% done. We are still hoping to be in, September 2nd or whatever that day is after Labor Day this fall. But if we aren't in exactly on time, we do have a backup plan and are able to move in the first couple of weeks without it being too big a headache. But we're still really hoping to be in the first day after Labor Day.
And can you tell me then what grades will be in this building in the fall, and also how many students this building will house and how many square feet?
Sure. The building's 40,000 square feet. It's built, however, so that it can be expanded. The gymnasium cafeteria can be just simply pushed out sideways, and additional classrooms can be added at the other end in case we continue to expand. It's built to house around 300 to 350 students, and that's our anticipated K-6, both Spanish and Chinese, 4th through 6th grades will be here. But we do have the capacity to grow a little bit more. Should we add 7, 8, we could house that here or do other things if we need to as a good dropping off place for adding programming. So we're pretty pleased with the building. There's 13 acres, and so where our other building sits on 5 acres, we have lots of space here for growth, and we're excited about that. When we first started, we thought, boy, could we ever just own this a building, which was the old hospital, which was about this size, I think 40,000 square feet, and we almost doubled that. We now have the annex for preschool, and this will be our 3rd facility in 10 years, and so the future is bright. We're looking forward to the next 10 years.
This is so exciting, and I just think too, to have that 13 acres, this could be a possible phase 1, and then at some point down the road you could have an additional building be adjacent or connected to this facility.
Yeah, we could. We when we built it, or when we bought the property, we have diagrams that show all the way from K-12, if we should ever do that, with about 115,000 square feet. And so the property will house that much, and the utilities and those kinds of pieces are all designed that we can grow if we do decide to do that.
And I guess my next question is to Shannon. So, really you were kind of spearheading this years ago as a parent with your love of a second language and the immersion program, and the ideas you had for really a charter school or a school with the ideas that you really wanted to foster in the community. How are you reflecting on all of this today?
Thanks for asking, Sarah. It really is an amazing point in the history of the school, and yeah, you're right. We had some really humble beginnings, and I remember meeting lots of parents, including you, early on, and having to tell everybody about how language immersion worked. And then later, when we determined that we wanted to be an international baccalaureate school, having to explain that. Both of the concepts are pretty complicated and sometimes a little bit scary for parents who've never heard of either one. And so it's been a long time coming, and we're really happy that so many students are able to benefit from becoming bilingual and biliterate, and from becoming internationally minded, well-rounded world citizens through the IB program.
And what do you think of this building behind you right now? What's just a couple of words?
I can't believe we get a brand new building ourselves, for one thing. It's very exciting. We looked forever to get the first building. Originally, we were going to have our school go into the old bowling alley. I don't know if you remember that original plan. And by the time we had worked out a arrangement for renting that building, we had too many students on the list to enroll to actually fit in that building. So we then looked around at different warehouse buildings and tried everything all around the whole Forest Lake area to fit in the first part of the school in the first phase. And so it's really exciting to be at the point where we could design a building as a school rather than try to retrofit a warehouse.
That's an excellent point. I mean, I think this is so exciting, and I wish you guys a wonderful summer, a dry summer, and hope all the plans go well so that you can open in the fall.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sarah.